Dead End always sounds so ominous, but you know what? Sometimes they can be fun. Dead End Paranormal Park Season 1. Yes, I know Season 2 is now also out. They released both of them in the same calendar year. I haven't gotten to that one yet. This is just going to be Season 1. This is the latest show that I've watched with my kiddo. She took to it pretty well and pretty quickly. Courtney's her favorite. She's already drawing that character with stunning accuracy, actually. But I'm here to give you my opinions, not my 11-year-olds. So this is on Netflix. I didn't bother to see if they have more seasons after the second one confirmed yet or not. It's hard to know with Netflix sometimes how that's going to go. This is based off a graphic novel series, which I have not read. And this focuses on a number of characters who work on the grounds at a amusement park, an attraction that has just a lot of paranormal stuff going on. Whether it be the demons who literally take up residence there, the fact that there are ghosts, there are things trying to possess people. There's a lot of weirdness. There's a lot of weirdness going on here. And we're just seeing these characters deal with that. Now, I suppose the first thing that I will address right up front, because it is made clear very early on, is that one of our leads, Barney, is trans. And it's made very clear, and it is kind of core, because it's part of why he's not only working at the park, but also living there, because he doesn't feel supported at home. And it's in a way that is somewhat nuanced, which I appreciate. It's not a matter of his family having immediately rejected him for being trans. They are trying to be supportive. They don't misgender him. But there's also been stuff that has gone on that makes it clear that they're not really going to stand up for him either. They don't have his back. They're not causing him problems, but they're not truly supporting him. And that's caused a little bit of a rift. But it's very upfront. It does actually impact the story, but it's also not what the entire thing is about. I think it's well done. I like Barney as a character. He's a sweet guy. I dig it. As far as the other characters go, the secondary main character is Norma, who just has all of the neurodivergent coding, like all of it. But again, from my perspective, handled pretty well, and with an acknowledgement of some specific things going on with her. She talks about her anxiety very specifically at a point, and it's very clear as it goes through that not only are the writers being very careful about how they depict it, not only for consistency, but to be respectful of someone who lives with everything that she lives with just inside her own head, but also that there are a number of characters at the park, other people who work there, who are also trying to be helpful and respectful and understand better. And that's just nice to see the level of inclusivity, not just by the presence of these people, but by the things other characters do to help, or at least try to help or acknowledge or accommodate things, is sweet. It's really nice. I mentioned Courtney because that's my kiddo's favorite one. She's just chaotic evil. Like if you play D&D, that's just what she is. And she is fun. She is entertaining. My own personal favorite would be Pugsley, the pug, who does talk and also channels dark forces. Did I mention this is a little bit of a weird show? It's a little bit of a weird show. I like Pugsley a lot. I love Pugsley with his little good boy hat. It's really wonderful. It's really cute. And all the other characters feel shockingly well fleshed out, given that it's pretty common for a show like this, a cartoon show like this, to have pretty caricature-style characters. And while when we first meet certain people, they are boiled down to pretty specific things. I mean, heck, there's even a gag of how Norma basically identifies people by the job she knows they do, because that's easier for her to remember their names. There is still like just enough going on that you can tell these characters, like, they have more of an inner life than what we see. And it's just by little bits that come out in the dialogue. They're not just there to deliver a line. It feels like a line that they would say because they are, in fact, a character. So it's really well presented in that way. And the supernatural stuff is fun. It is going for sort of demonic, a little bit of hellish stuff, some ghost related things. That's sort of the ballpark that it's playing with that sort of stuff. Occasionally it can be threatening. I would not really say that it's particularly scary. But you know, it is sort of playing with those sorts of things in a family-friendly manner. If I have a complaint about it, it's that I kind of feel like it goes a little too hard, a little too fast. And by way of comparison, I'm going to bring up Gravity Falls because I think that's tonally what they're borrowing at least a little bit from in terms of the overall tone. Like none of the characters map onto Gravity Falls characters, but tonally overall for the show, that doesn't seem a million miles off. But imagine if season 2 of Gravity Falls was the first season. And what I mean by that is imagine instead of taking a season where we're getting little drips and little bits of the supernatural stuff, you know, one thing at a time, and to a lot of the characters, it is weird and we understand how it is weird to them, what is normal for them, to what extent is this unusual, and sort of getting up to speed and getting on the same page as everybody else there. That's a lot of what the first season of Gravity Falls was. Imagine all that's gone. It's just the supernatural insanity starts to happen right off. You don't really know how normal this is. You don't really know how normal it is for the people there. Do they not see it? Do they not notice it? Do they not care? Do they see it or think they can't do anything about it, so they just ignore it? Like, I'm not going to say there's no answers to these things, but you kind of have to figure it out as you go. It really does hit the ground running a little too much, I think. But it's not like it leaves you in the dirt. You can follow what's going on, but like, just for example, it brings in things like Courtney and a lot of other demons and possessions and all this other stuff so hard and fast that by the end of like the second episode, I didn't really understand what a normal at the park is. Like, so few characters were acknowledging the weirdness. And like, there is a line in there that sort of the mantra among the people who work at the park is like, if you see something unusual, just keep it to yourself, darling. And like, I get that that's sort of hanging a lampshade on it, but it is actually a little bit of a problem, even if you make a joke out of the fact that people just kind of ignore it, because it took me a while trying to juggle both the active plots going on and wrap my head around how these people function and what their sort of standing is. So like that time that something like the first season of Gravity Falls took with somewhat more low-key things and taking a little while before really kicking off, that gave me a chance to really get to know Dipper, Mabel, Stan, Seuss, even over time, some of the other folks in the town, but at least to get a sense of everybody while not having to simultaneously deal with the weirdest stuff. And this kind of throws everything at you at once. And again, it doesn't completely throw me off and it doesn't like kill it or anything, but I do wish, I don't even need a full season. I kind of wish that there was like half a season where most of what is going on in a given episode is a normal day at the park with like this one little supernatural thing that they're trying to figure out, as opposed to just cranking up the supernatural stuff right off the bat. I kind of wish we could have spent half the season getting our bearings with these characters and the setting and everything else before really cranking it up. But like I said, this really does hit the ground running. And that might be more to some people's tastes. For me, I would have liked a little more time with the characters before it all went off. But now that I am on board, because I am on board, I expect that I'll have probably even more fun with season 2, because while it was a little awkward during season 1 to be trying to follow these these plots doing an awful lot of stuff while also still trying to sort out these characters and my feelings and thoughts about them. I'm there now by the end of that season. So I think I'll be able to just jump in on season 2 and probably have even more fun than I did with this, because this is still fun. And the representation is great, and these are shockingly well fleshed out characters, even the side ones. So that's Dead End Paranormal Park season 1. Have you seen it? What'd you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon's what pays the bills and allows me to do this as my living. Even if you can't help me with that, the likes, the shares, the subscribes, they also help me out. Don't worry too much about it, though. We take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can come on back next time you need a break. End credits, that means I need to shout out my top Patreon supporters. Robin Moore, Zupin Litfulla, Tarak, the thing that goes doink in the anime, Oliver B., Linda Walters, Emu Delkey, Leotha Boyd, Toy Loli, Becky Sparks, Renabi Likes the Poodle, Zach, Tracy Scrabbit, Angry Casperl, Adam RDL Taylor, Shay Legorle, Brendan LaRose, and TT. Thank you so much for your support. You can get your name in the credits too by checking out the rewards on the Patreon. You only tried to eat my earring once this time. That's much better.